And so the title of today's talk is What You Are Not Changing, You Are Choosing. Sorry, I'm just having some problems with my screen. There we go. And I realized even as I wrote it and even as I say it to you, I can feel this edge of irritation from kind of the audience from within the ether. When I tune in, I can really feel the irritation and aggravation that that title causes. But here's the thing, we all want change. We all want more money, to look better, feel better, new loves, better loves if you have a love, better communication, better friendships. There are all these desires that we all have. And if they do not change ever, so they basically remain the same apart from a few tweaks here and there, it's basically saying that you're choosing not to actually take action to make a change. And I know some of you, when you watch this on replay, will say, I am making changes. How dare you say that? Hey, Mickey, Happy New Year. How dare you say I'm not trying to make changes? And I'm not saying that you're not trying, but what I want to explore with you today is, are you doing it in the most effective way? And I say this as someone, who for years has said, I want to lose weight and I want to be slimmer, and nothing really seems to have worked. And I've tried lots and lots of different things. And so it's really interesting when this title came to me of, hi Denise, what you are not changing, you are choosing. It's like, oh, that's really making me think about what actions have I been taking to support my desire to lose weight, etc. So let's crack on. If you have any questions about the topic, please do ask. And let's see what we come up with. I even made notes there, typed them out as well. Okay. So as I've said already, some of you might find this a really challenging title and it might aggravate you, and it might bring up an energy of, it's not my fault. I have been trying really hard and circumstances around me have stopped me saving enough money, losing weight, feeling better, making new friends, getting a new job. It could be any and anything, whatever your resolutions are, your New Year's resolutions are. And the ones I'm targeting are the ones that you make every year without fail. I'm gonna get a new job. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna be thinner. I'm gonna be stronger. I'm gonna be more flexible. There are lots of variations on a theme that we all have, right? And so when I'm not trying to say it's your fault, I'm not trying to bring up a blame energy in you, but you might have that reaction, okay, as you listen to me talk. What I'm trying to get you to do is pay attention, sit up, pay attention. Like, why are you making the same resolutions by rote? Maybe it's time to change those resolutions. So, and the timing of today's talk is not by accident, because when I tuned into the collective over the Christmas period, they actually wanted me to come on between Christmas and New Year and talk about this. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm on holiday. I'm being with my family. I'm not doing that. But the timing of this is not by accident, because this is the new year. And for many of you, January will be like, right, I'm going to have all these resolutions, and you're going to try and kind of steamroller your way into it. And I'm here to say to you, January, actually, I feel is the month that you actually do things slowly, that you use this month to actually plan how you're going to do the things that you want to do. Don't go rushing into them full steam. It's dark, it's miserable, it's cold. Biologically, we're in hibernation mode. I know we all go to work and have lights on and everything, but our biological, circadian rhythms are actually asking us to be slow and easy. And so I'm asking you guys, if you watch this on replay, to really take this advice on board and to decide, okay, I'm not going to rush this. I'm going to really think about the resolutions I want for myself, and then we'll move forward. Okay. Not resolutions, but work, karma, drama. I love that. Work, karma, drama. Hey, Danny, how are you? I love that bear mode. Sounds very snuggly, Danny. So And then the final thing about this is that, many people set resolutions of all descriptions, as I've said, but they don't actually follow it up with practical steps. So you might be in the right energy of it, but you're not following up with practical action. And as we all know, the best outcomes are created by aligned energy with aligned practical steps as well. Okay. So, what's getting in your way? What's causing your procrastination? What is causing the repeated work karma drama, as Nikki has shared with us? What's causing you to sabotage your eating habits or your exercise habits? Or what's feeding those beliefs that you can't have what you truly seek, right? Because that's the thing, isn't it? When you're setting these resolutions and you're like, I want to be thinner, stronger, whatever, and then when you're not achieving it, it's like, what's got in the way there? Do I not feel safe enough to lose that weight? Does it make me feel vulnerable? Do I actually like the karma drama at work? It gives me something, right? I'm not saying that's true of you, Mickey, but maybe at some level, a few years ago, this was a thing. Maybe making the resolution that you make year after year is habitual. So, what is getting in your way, first of all? Understand that. Secondly, what's the energy of these desires that you're setting? Are they in an energy of fear and obligation, or are they in an energy of loving expectancy? Okay, fear of that lack. Okay, Danny. So if we think about, so this is actually ties in with what's the energy of your desires, right? So supposing it's around money, because a lot of people say, I want a new job and I want to get a pay rise, or I want to earn some more money, I want to have some side hustles, and then it never seems to materialize. You have to understand what else is feeding that fear of lack. Okay. What other beliefs are there? It could be around worthiness. It could be about feeling vulnerable to be seen and heard. It could be around, uh, I'm really getting worthiness, actually. That's the word I'm getting in particular for you, Danny. And it's about feeling deserving of the thing you want, right? Many people don't actually feel deserving of it. And so then you have to say, okay, I need to do a little bit of the releasing work, and I need to reset myself, and I need to reset those beliefs with real truths. And this is where the releasing method comes in, and you go to your team. Okay. Obligatory resolutions. So obligatory ones are really ones that you feel are being imposed upon you. Things like, you need to get a better job so we can be proud of you, or you need to earn money so that you can look after your family in a proper way. Or it could be, another one might be, you need to look thinner because otherwise it reflects badly on us, right? So there are these kind of obligatory desires that are imposed upon you. Well, when you have those ones, they are not aligned to your energy. They are being imposed on you. They generate fear, they generate resentment, they generate anger. That is not the energy in which you are going to create change and be able to stay committed to that change. Yeah, a lack of love leads to bad habit filling, that void. Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it, Danny. I love that, actually. Honestly, you and Mickey on fire with those. Thank you for that. So we're looking at what's the energy. Is it obligatory ones, or is it because you really want to do that? Do you feel like you're failing to meet someone else's expectations? In certain cultures, where you live on, you get a lot of expectancy around from other people within your culture, within your family, who want boasting rights and that kind of thing. That can really cause a problem as well. And you can feel obliged to adopt a resolution or a desire that isn't really yours. And so another way that sometimes we adopt a resolution that's not aligned to our energy is when we sometimes say, do you know what? I'm going to do this alongside you to help you. So it could be someone's changing their eating habits, or they're giving up alcohol, for example, for January. They're doing a dry January. And you're like, do you know what? I think that's a good idea. I'm going to do it to help you. And it's not something that you particularly want to do. It's not that it's bad to do, but it's not truly aligned to your energy's desires, which makes it much harder for you to then stay off the alcohol or make the eating changes that you want. It's not loving, right? When you are choosing obligatory or helping someone else and being accountable to them and helping them stay on track, if those aren't aligned to your own energy, they are not loving desires for you. So you have to start looking at, when you set your desires, you have to start looking at what is a loving thing for me to do. Now, I have been following a couple of people on Instagram who I'm full of admiration for, because they decided to do a 365-day glow up of their lives. Now, one was a young woman, it's in her 20s, I think, or maybe early 30s. She basically was very depressed, anxious, hardly went out, felt she had no friends, and has basically spent the last year going out and about. She's met some new people. She's met two friends actually who have become her best friends through these adventures. She's begun traveling, and her life has been transformed through this 365-day glow up that she's introduced. And I love that idea, a 365-day glow up. Now, I could say to you guys, I think I'm going to adopt that. But unless my energy feels aligned to it, it will feel onerous, it will feel hard, and it's going to feel obligatory, because I've made a promise and I've said it out loud. So you have to make sure, and I'm choosing such a big thing because it basically tackles every area of your life. That may not suit all of you. For some of you, you might need to do the smallest change, and that is all you need in order to move forward. So, for example, it could be that you choose, your resolution is that every day you're going to do a 10-minute walk around your house. That's it, because you need to move more. That's what you're choosing for yourself. That's great. If that's what you want to do, it doesn't have to be a grand desire. It doesn't have to be a big desire. It just has to be enough of a desire to create change. That 10 minutes of walking around your house every day while it's dark and miserable might lead to a 20-minute walk after your meal times, which has the beneficial effect on your blood sugar levels and your weight and your overall fitness. It might lead you to meet someone who you see regularly on your walks, and you start to walk together. So you meet a new friend and it becomes more social. Do you see what I mean? You don't have to achieve your desire from here to here, like in one fell swoop. It's all these little small incremental changes that you're going to create. And every time you take an action towards your desire, you are rewriting the patterns, the unconscious patterns that you have in your brain. When I went vegetarian for about 2.5 years, it was not something I had particularly chosen to do, but my team were really pushing it. And so I very reluctantly did it. I did it on a 30-day basis. And for 6 months, at day one, I would go, am I happy to still be vegetarian? Yes, I'm okay. I'm going to carry on for another day. At 6 months, I was like, okay, I'm committed to this, and I'm here for the long haul. And I enjoyed it. I prefer being vegetarian. What has interestingly happened in the last few months is that I've become anemic. And so basically, I'm not getting enough for my body's needs of protein and iron. And so I've had to go back temporarily to eating chicken, fish. Right? I'm not really eating red meat. And so does that make me feel bad? No, it doesn't make me feel bad, but it doesn't make me feel delighted either. And it felt little bit like a step backwards. But actually, when I reviewed it, I was like, no, what I'm doing is feeding my body the things it needs in order to function. And I can tell you what, I feel loads better. I have loads more energy. I'm sleeping better. and I generally feel better in myself, more mentally active, etc. So, so what I want you to do is when you're thinking of your goal, don't always go for the massive goal. For some of you, going for a small goal, like a 10-minute walk every day, is all you need to do, right? And that will set off a chain reaction that will lead to bigger changes, okay? And it's the energy in which you set that small desire to walk 10 minutes that is important. It must fill you with an energy of, oh, yeah, I really like the idea of moving, and I like that I'm going to feel less stiff, and I'm going to like that I feel good, and I have a sense of accomplishment after I've done my 10 minutes. Now, those of you who are very fit, you might think in your head, you might scoff at 10 minutes, but for someone who doesn't move a lot, that 10-minute movement can mean an awful lot. So I want you to just, for some of you, it'll be the big picture, like the 365-day glow up. And for others of you, there'll be something in the middle, which is sort of not 10 minutes, not the glow up. It's something smaller in the middle. And then for some of you, it'll be literally tiny resolutions. Okay. It doesn't matter on the size of them. That's just a way of speaking. What matters is, does it fill you with joy? Does it give you a sense of accomplishment? Can you do it? Can you commit to that? Can you say to yourself, it's 10 minutes? The way I do it is I diarize my things into my diary. So I diarize making sure I get up and I move every hour and a half. I diarize when I need to do my exercises. I diarize when I have to go to bed. I literally diarize everything because that works for me really well. For some of you, you would feel, oh, the horror, that feels awful. That's okay. It doesn't have to all, the way I do it doesn't mean it has to be your way. Okay. As long as your energy is aligned to your goals, that is a good place to start. Now, the second half, I'm just going to have a quick drink of my lemon and ginger. The second half of creating the change you want and not staying stuck is taking practical action, as I've said. Okay. So, have you heard of the saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail? I think this is a really, really good saying. Okay. I think it really highlights the need for us as humans to have concrete steps to follow. Now, you're not going to set those steps on your own. You are going to actually connect with your higher self. You're going to connect with your non physical team and you go, okay, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I need. Can you help me with this? Okay. And then they will give you a step. And I'll give you an example. Today, I was feeling a bit miserable about some stuff that had happened just before the end of the new year, and I connected with my team, with Athalia on my team, and I was like, I just need something. I need some soothing to stop me wobbling, but I need something else. And what I got was, you need some hope. And so then I got given an action to take. And the action was actually to listen to an energetic process on Emily, who's in our group. Emily's wonderful app, Me Helping Me. And as soon as I thought of that thing, I felt the hope come up and I felt better and a smile appeared on my face. So you see what I mean? So that's why you want to do connected action with your team. Okay. So know your goal, right? Know what your goal is, visualize it and see yourself doing that thing. So if, for example, I'm going to pick on the walking thing again. If it's walking, take a picture of your own feet. You're wearing your walking shoes if you're going to walk outside, or your slippered feet, doesn't matter, and put that on your vision board, because your brain can't tell what's real and what's not real. So if it sees you walking, it could be a video of you walking, it doesn't matter. If it sees you in action, it will help to create more of that thing. Okay. So use imagery, break it down into smaller steps. Now, for some of you, doing something every day might feel like it's too much. So you might need to start off with once or twice a week. Okay. That's okay. You can build up to more when you're ready to. And how do you know when you're ready to add in more? Because it won't feel like it's enough when you got used to doing the one or two times. They'll feel good and you'll be like very satisfied initially. And you might ache a bit, or you might think, yeah, I really like that. Okay, good. That feels good. And then over a period of time, you kind of notice, I don't feel as good as I used to. There's a sense of dissatisfaction here. What's that about? Oh, I need to add in an extra day. That's what you're creating, right? That's how you know how to take the next step and build this up. Um, if you want to get fitter, for example, you might also think, oh, I need to go running, or I need to lift weights, and I need to go to a gym, and I need to build, heavy barbells, right? But have you connected with the energy of your body? And what is your body saying it wants? Because your body actually might say to you, I don't want to do that. What I want to do is go on a reformer, Pilates reformer machine, and I want to strengthen the muscles. Or it might be, I want you to go and have some physio, or do some rehab, right? So you need to connect with your body's energy as well. If your goal is not physical, let's say it's monetary, again, if you have a target, say you want to save £5,000 over the year, I'm going to choose 6,000 because this will make the maths easier. That's £500 per month, right? Now, you might think, oh my God, where is £500 a month going to come from? Things feel tight already. Well, one of your goals might be is to create a new budget for yourself. And you're going to use that budget to start creating opportunities for saving. And it might mean cancelling some of the things that you don't use anymore, that don't bring as much joy anymore. Okay, so that might be one thing. For some of you, you might need to look at different ways of managing your money. So some people, there's you see these on TikTok and Instagram where they withdraw the entire month's salary, they put them into envelopes, and they spend only that. That allows them to build up towards that £500. And for some of you, the guidance might be to monetize one of your skills, or take up some other kind of side hustle. Be open, right? Don't say anything is off the table. Be open. You might need to upskill yourself a little bit. There are lots of different ways you can do that. Be open. Because if you are committed to your goal and your energy is aligned and you are willing to connect with your team to take those practical steps, change is inevitable. Okay. Um, so when you're making your plan for whatever your goal is, having broken down that big goal down into smaller, manageable chunks, you might then say, okay, I need to make a note of this. And you're going to create a visual for yourself. And this visual needs to be somewhere where you're going to see it regularly. And by regular, I mean every single day. So by your bed, on the back of the bathroom door, on the kitchen cabinet doors or the kitchen door, on the inside of your front door. So every time you walk out the house, there is your goal there. I have on my laptop a picture of me, and underneath it, I have award winning multi book author, because that's something I want to do. Now, that when I think of that as a desire, it fills me with joy, but I can feel it has a really long energy. This is not going to be a quick one for me. And it could take me 2 or 3 years, maybe even longer, to achieve that. But that's okay. It's there as a prompt, it's there as a reminder. And I hadn't really opened my laptop over the Christmas and New Year period. So when I opened it and I saw it, I was like, oh, that feels really good. It was a really nice, almost surprise for myself. So I want you to start thinking in terms of the things you want to change. Do I really want to change them? Are they things that still bother me? And if they do, then start doing it in a really aligned way. Okay. The other thing is, change is not linear, right? Change is like this, it's up and down. Sometimes it's 2 steps back or 3 steps back before you can move forward. Sometimes you'll feel stuck and stationary. It doesn't mean nothing's happening. It just means you're pausing for a few minutes. Okay. And so you have to also allow your team in those times, in those moments, like I said earlier, you ask them to flow you love and support to help you manage your wobbles. The wobbles will show up as those negative thoughts of you can't do it, nothing ever changes, I'm stuck, it's not safe for me. Those wobbles that your mind is generating, your team can help soothe them and help you feel better in the soothing of them. As you soothe them, hope can then flow in, and then you can take more action. And sometimes your action may not be directly linked to your goal. So sometimes your action might be phone a friend, because you need that distraction of chatting to someone who you like. That connection will make you feel good. And then you'll be like, oh, yeah, that feels better. And then you can start taking action. Okay. So the wobbles even have a reason for happening. They're a chance to reset, reevaluate, and then take action again. So don't ever dismiss your wobbles. Okay. And then the final thing that I do that really helps me is, and along with the visuals, I actually have playlists of either podcasts or of music that I can go to that will help motivate me, that will get me excited, that will make me think about what it is I need to do. Okay. And you can you can then use those in a really strategic way. So you could start your morning off. You know, some people read quotations from the Bible every morning. Well, you could start yours by reading your motivational quotes first thing in the morning. You could do the 3 things you're grateful for in the morning and in the evening if you wanted. Remember, the things that aren't changing are not changing because you haven't committed to them properly enough. And if you haven't committed to them properly enough, it's because there is a belief running. So make sure you've done the belief work before you go and set those resolutions. So, right, I'm going to love you and leave you all. Have a lovely Tuesday. Just to let you know that I am now on a Monday doing a 3-card read on TikTok. And I will be coming on more often live on TikTok. You can find me under Energetics Every Day. I would love for you to join me. Feel free not to if you don't want to. Thank you again to the ones of you who've bought the book. I've had a couple of sales this side of Christmas. Woo! Where my goal is to sell 100 books one of my goals is to sell 100 books in the next 3 months. I'm about just over halfway to that. I feel like that's a really great goal to go for me. So that's what I'm going for. So please spread the word as well about the book. If you like the book and you haven't given me a review, please go to amazon.co.uk and write a review, and please tell your friends about it. Carolina says, I use them Gantt charts. I find them. Yeah, exactly. It's in your face. You can't miss it. Really glad you could join us today, Danny. I hope you're really well. Those are also those of you who would like to book in readings. I am doing more readings this month, so please do book in. And I will be back in the next couple of days with an announcement. I'm relaunching a service, so I'm just putting the finishing touches to that and creating a video to do with that. So I'll be launching that later in the week. So keep an eye for that in the group. Lots of love to you all. Have a lovely week, and I will see you soon. Take care now.